Hi, welcome back to Project 2 of Industrial Design Practice 3, which is Sustainable Materials. For the following project, we were required to create our own home-based biodegradable sustainable material to create or design a product or prototype that can put a stop to pollution in the world as we know it today. The first phase of this project is research. In the following slides, you can have a look at what kind of research I conducted. First, I had to identify what are biodegradable materials. I listed a few on the right-hand side: cornstarch, bamboo, gelatin, charcoal, fruit peels, clay or sand, and glycerin. These are the basic materials that I identified to use as a base for my biodegradable material. I then identified the problem and as well as a solution. So my problem was basically pollution and how can we put a halt or a stop to pollution in our world today. The initial design direction that I chose was creating a biodegradable water bottle. However, I came into a few problems when doing some material experimentation. After the water bottle would dissolve and the material that I developed to create this water bottle would dissolve and basically lose its shape after coming into contact with water. I then had a change of heart and a change of design direction, and I decided to tackle our current problem in this world as being COVID-19 and the pollution that it brought with it. The disposable masks, the millions of disposable masks being washed up on our beaches, which has become a major problem. So I decided to create some kind of sustainable PPE. The next phase of the project was material experimentation. Before I began the material experimentation, I identified a few of my researched raw materials. In the previous slides, I chose ground rice, which is your starch, charcoal, glycerin, cornstarch, and gelatin. And I played around with these and carried out 12 different experiments. In the next few slides, you can have a look at a few of the experiments that I carried out. The first one over here, the gelatin-based bioplastic, being the standard bioplastic, was the one that I really took a liking to, and if you have a look further on in the project, is the one that I actually developed my final prototype. Over here we have a couple of rice-based experiments as well as a starch-based experiment. Then I conducted a number of charcoal-based and rice-based mixed experiments, as you can have a look in these four. And again, I bring us back to the gelatin-based bioplastic, which was my favorite and the one I really saw that I could use this for molding or sandcasting or even hand fabricating. I took a liking to the previous bioplastic, being the gelatin standard bioplastic, which is why I went for it. In the next few slides, we have a look at a few precedent boards. The first one being general sustainable materials that I found on the internet. The next was sustainable water bottles that I found. However, after the change in design direction, I looked at general PPE designs and I took a liking to face shields. Generally face shields are created using plastic, so I'd like to change that. In the next few slides you can have a look at basic development mockups and sketches. These were the first 4 basic mockups that I created. And we have a look at these next 2. I built on the first one in the slide. In next to it you have where I actually added the plastic visor, and in the picture below you can see how I created that double banded face shield. I then created a few sketching pages, some brainstorming, a couple general face shields that are out on the market today maybe, and the final page for sketching. The next few slides show how I created the BioShield. These 4 steps are how I created the visor, and in the next 8 steps you can have a look at how I created the headpiece. Then the final prototype. Here I am wearing the final prototype. I found that the visor needed a week or 2 more to hold the shape of the cylinder, as it was a bit flimsy, and the headpiece held together quite well. However, if too much pressure was put on, it tended to warp and it actually was very close to breaking. Here we have the BioShield technical analysis page. And last but not least, the engineering drawings, general assembly, detail 1, detail 2, and exploded view. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope to see you soon.